Hey guys, let me see if I can get this going. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. Oh shit. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get you right back on the mainstream. Oh, okay. Let me get you up back. Oh. All right. All right. Are we in here? Are we in here? I'm so sorry. You guys there? All right. Let's see. All right, guys. Okay. Looks like one of my destinations on Facebook isn't working tonight, so we're just going to be going live off of YouTube, all right? So I just want to get things started tonight because looks like the guys from Piss and Razors are running a little late. They're getting out of work. So I know how that goes. Definitely being in food service my whole life, working a lot of nights. I definitely know how all that groove works. So, guys, I just told Terry, their manager, just to have them jump in whenever they got ready. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go and get the show started. Great to talk to you guys, man. I know it's been a little while. Last time I was here in the studio, I had my friends in Haunt the Sleep in here, and then right before them we had Tortured in the house. So man, I'm telling you, I love having live interviews in person. But my guys from Piss and Razors are centered out of El Paso, Texas. So they're going to be coming out as Mountain Time, which is 7:30 over there. So before, cheers. All right, drink up. Have a drink on me. Tonight's drink is Sammy's rum. Sammy Hagar's rum. Hell yeah. So that's a good one right there. Their little rum and coke. And cheers. I'm gonna have to do a little fireball. So this one's for Piss and Razors. All right. Cheers. That's good. Cheers to everybody that was already had the pleasure of being able to check out As Below, So Above. And thank you for checking out the show. That's where I was last Friday. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you can check out the video of my live coverage of last week's show. And it was fantastic. I never thought that it was going to amount to what it came out to. It was huge. I was really surprised at all the other flyers that were contributed besides my own, and it was fan-fucking-tastic. I remember working on those Syntegrity flyers, which I donated on my own over at Kiko's Xerox copy place. So man, I used to spend hours inside there trying to sketch out, cut out logos and write in who's playing where, what time it starts, cool shit around there, and little bitty artwork and all kinds of shit to make the flyer look cool. And it would take hours sometimes because I wasn't cut out for some of that shit. So it would take a little while to get it looking cool. So the thing that was really awesome was that I was able to round up even more than the flyers that I've donated so far. So I've even got more for the next show. And I'm talking about flyers from DRI, more Anchor Watt, more Crayons, Poetic Noise flyers, Scrotum Nosedive, and if I can include some flyers that I got from the San Antonio scene. Hell yeah, DMZ Club, White Rabbit. I got some flyers from bands over there like Insecticide, Beowulf, old school shows from back in the day. Punk Fest, I think it was Punk Fest 87. No, I think it was 87 or 88. San Antonio, some classic stuff. All Descendants, shit, man, some good stuff. Ludachrist, and if they let me put some stuff from like some New York stuff, because I used to trade flyers with other people's through fanzines. So I'd send them some of our flyers from Corpus Christi, and they'd send me their flyers from New York and California. So I've got some with Black Flag and badass fucking 11x17 flyers and big ones. They look awesome. Really cool artwork that Black Flag's known for, and some awesome shit from Agnostic Front. And I think I got a killer one from the Cro-Mags. and great stuff, man. Those are just, that's what lined my walls. And right now you see the different kind of lining I got on my walls. I got some Metallica, and I just got my Kill 'Em More banner in the back, and some, of course, some Slayer and some Slipknot, Lamb of God. But back when I was a kid, that's what I lined up my whole walls with, was nothing but flyers and some of my favorite bands. And in at that time in high school, when I was still living at home, I guess some of my favorite bands were definitely Black Flag, Suicidal Tendencies. Um, I liked Acid Bath a lot. And then we started getting into heavier music. Of course, I was a fan of Metallica. Of Metallica, Anthrax, Exodus, Testament, the big four, man, Megadeth. Definitely, they were a part of my listening pleasure on a daily basis for the most part. But I really enjoyed like Bad Brains, Cro-Mags, Agnostic Front, Sick of It All, Killing Time. I really dug Jude. What am I saying? Judge. Judge was fucking kick ass. One of my favorite bands, Leeway. And I want to give a big shout out, big respect, and rest in peace, Mr. Eddie Sutton. He just passed away this weekend. And it's a big loss to the metal community, especially to the New York hardcore community. He was a tremendous talent and a great contributor to the old school metal crossover days over there in New York City. And it was just fan-fucking-tastic, man. I had the pleasure of meeting him 3 times. Last go around, I seen him over at the White Rabbit, and then he came down here and played over at Boozers when Boozers was still off SPID. And man, Leeway never disappoints, thanks to Eddie Sutton, kick-ass fucking vocalist. And the music of Leeway back in the day, they sounded fucking heavy, a great production, crunchy Marshalls, fucking Tama drums. Eddie doing like kind of like a rap, man. Definitely not very metal, but definitely rap. But it went good with the fucking music. So Leeway, man, look up Leeway and look up Desperate Measures and Born to Expire. Those 2 albums right there are New York crossover legends right there. So do yourself a favor and check out that. And I definitely think if you're a guitar player or drummer, you're going to get inspired, or definitely give them some big props after giving that a listen. So much respect. Rest in peace, Mr. Eddie Sutton. My condolences to you and your and all your family. Much love to the New York hardcore community. I've been a big fan of New York hardcore since first taste, I guess. Probably was Victim in Pain, Agnostic Front. And then after that, getting into like Youth of Today, getting into Bold. Of course, Cro-Mags was a big part of it too, man. That was huge, man. When Cro-Mag came to town and opened up for Motorhead over at the Ritz on the Orgasmatron tour. Fuck yeah. Motorhead was on the Orgasmatron. And of course, Cro-Mags was still on their first album, Age of Quarrel. And man, they fucking came out. And I only heard stories, but I heard from one of my best friends, Mike Hinojosa, who turned me on to all the heavy shit, Destruction, Venom, Metallica. And he turned me on to everything, man. So all the good shit, man. Thanks a lot, Mike. He went to the show and he was boasting about it the next day, saying, "Oh, y'all fucking missed it, dude. It was fucking sick." And Cro-Mags, who the fuck are those guys, man? I got to go get the vinyl. So like the next day, we were at Craig's looking for the Cro-Mag Age of Quarrel vinyl after we saw him open up for Motorhead. So man, I tell you, I'm a huge Cro-Mags fan, and I love Agnostic Front. I've had the pleasure of opening up for Vinny and Roger from Agnostic Front several times with my bands Kill 'Em More at the Underground, over at Equalize, and I want to say we did it over at when I'm thinking of Underground, thinking of right there off of Staples, which was Patrick's place, and maybe just those 2 times, but freaking kick-ass fucking shows, man. And the first time I got to see Agnostic Front was on the One Voice tour, man. They were on tour with fucking Cannibal fucking Corpse. Man, it was a brutal fucking lineup, man. They really mixed things up right there. And Cannibal was on Tomb of the Mutilated. And man, it was fucking sick. And it was One Voice. And man, One Voice, that was that first album that Roger put out right after getting locked up and getting out of the pen. So man, he had a lot of fucking great vocals going on, and a lot of heartfelt lyrics, to say the very least. And we had some New Jack was on that, fucking One Voice, great fucking track. So love that. And at the time, Strength. I mean, when I start thinking about some of the great tracks that I love from Agnostic Front, makes me go back to like Liberty and Justice, man. I love like Strength and Anthem, and makes me think of the Live at CBGB's album that Agnostic Front put out. Great shit. I love the Agnostic Front. Hell yeah. And it reminds me of Fear Factory, when Fear Factory covered Agnostic Front on Demanufacture, and they covered It's Your Mistake. Your mistake. Fucking heavy, man. Heavy, man. Great fucking cover. Great fucking cover. So I'm hoping the guys will join me here in just a second. But in the meantime, I guess cheers. Thank you, Sammy. Sammy's a Beach Bar Rum. Hell yeah. I've been hearing this show on 104.5, the Eagle, and shout out to Monty Montana. Had Monty on the show. Super fucking guy, man. Love Monty. Shout out. And shout out to 104.5, man. Really enjoy everything that they got, and great fucking music platform. And just love the show. Shout out to Dan Rios and Kelly in the morning show, the Pretty Ugly morning show. So Pretty Fugly morning show, that is. And I'd love to be on it, or maybe have you guys on the show, so that way we can talk a little bit more about your show on my show. So anyway, on 104.5, man, I've been hearing some great fucking music, and I definitely would like to get Monty back on the show, but cheers. So, I was going through my feed, and I was looking back, and I saw a video I posted just the other day of at Zeros. It was a video from Zeros. I think Sergio turned me on to it. Sergio Elizondo, who also helped put together the As Below, So Below art poster and flyer gallery over at the Produce Bar Company downtown, along with Carlos Cooper of Hybrid Records. So check out Hybrid Records. Hell yeah, Carlos, super cool guy, man, putting things together. I appreciate his cooperation and all the help he did to contribute to the As Below, So Below, As Below, So Above art gallery. And big props to Sergio Elizondo. Thanks for making it happen. I've had Sergio over to my house, and we've been in here going through flyers, and he's been able to pick out the ones that he wants. And really, we talk about what happened at the shows, and the most memorable shows that really happened, like at the Ritz and over at Memorial Coliseum and over at the Warehouse. Of course, there's some at Zeros. There was at the Boys Club. We had a lot at the Boys Club. It was really cool. And these places, the Elks Lodge, of course, we had to pay deposits back in the day, because otherwise, these shows would get pretty fucking out of hand. They'd fuck up the restrooms, to say the least, and leave a hell of a mess for cleanup. So they normally keep the fucking deposits, because the cleanup and all the mess would usually overpass any kind of deposit you leave on there. But anyway, booking metal shows wasn't easy back in the day. So, I'm hoping the guys are getting ready to get in here, because I'm ready to talk to the Razor Nation, man. If anybody from Razor Nation is out there, give me a shout out in the chat room. Just tell me what's up. Let me know you're already in the room, ready for the guys to jump in here. And if you got any questions, let them fly, man. Let me see what you got coming up, so I can make some time to cover with the guys, because I've got some good stuff for them tonight. I've got some cool questions, and I've got another edition of Draw the Line. So if you've seen my show before, you know that I'm going to be asking them to pick out some of their favorite bands out of some lineups I'm going to be giving them. Say if I wanted to compare, the Black Sabbath years of Ronnie James Dio versus Ozzy Osbourne, who would they pick, Ozzy or Ronnie James? Now, if I was posed with that question, I would go with Ozzy. And that's because I grew up with Ozzy. That's the first dose of Ozzy that I got. It was probably either Iron Man or Paranoid. And it was probably hanging out over at Mike's house too, checking it out. And one of my favorite records is We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll. It's got all the fucking hits. That's the greatest hits right there, Black Sabbath. And love me some fucking Ozzy. But nonetheless, none the freaking fucking heavy metal less. Ronnie James Dio is the shit with Black Sabbath. Who else would I want to take Ozzy's footsteps and take Ozzy's place in the godfather of metal's band, Black Sabbath, but the one and only Ronnie James Dio? And did he shine, man? He fucking came out. Heaven and Hell, Neon Nights. Oh shit, hit after hit after hit, man. Children of the Sea. Children of the Great, that's also going on even. Children of the Sea, Fuck yeah, man. Oh, I love the Ronnie James Dio era. And much props to the Ian Gillan era, man. I started thinking of Thrashed. That was a fucking hit back in the day of MTV, a Headbangers Ball. What's up with Headbangers Ball? If anybody's out there, give me a fucking shout out or a fucking thumbs up or finger if you know what's up with Headbangers Ball. All right. Hell yeah. That's what I need to bring up with these guys. I'm going to write that down. Headbangers Ball. Because I know these guys, at least one or two of them, like Eddie, might be my age, so we definitely can relate by talking about the old school Headbangers Ball days over there on MTV with Ricky Rackman. We had an assortment of the MTV VJs because not everybody would do it, so they had to see who they had available for it to make the show happen. And you know, I'm trying to think, who's the other guy with the big hair besides Ricky Rackman? Adam something. If you know Adam's name, let me tell me. But you know, they had some other guys, other characters on there. But what my favorite was when they had Jamie Jasta. Fuck yeah! Shout out to Jamie Jasta, putting on the heavy metal fucking classic show that finally is back. The Milwaukee fucking Metal Fest. Man, I want to get Jamie on this show and ask him a few questions about that. How great it must feel to bring back such a classic festival, American festival, back to reality, back to the scene, and bringing all the fucking metal genres together. And you know, that's what Jamie is, man. He's such a great ambassador of metal, man. Definitely an inspiration for me to even start my show, man. It just if it wasn't for Jamie, I know I wouldn't have the podcast. But because I see him and hear him having such a great time on his show, it inspired me to want to get my own and get to meet some great people, and also get to meet some great guys in this local scene. And I've really had the pleasure of getting to know some of the great local talent, man. I've been able to, like I mentioned, I just had a Haunt the Sleep in the studio. I've had Tortured here, man. I've had Modern Day Renegade. I've had my friends in Zombie King, and should I say my brothers in arms, my metal brothers, Zombie King, Gratitude TX, the Southern Revival, Joe Southern Revival. I've done Texas Devil, my back patio, man. They were in their makeup, man. Shout out to all these bands, man. And you know, who else did I have in here? Of course, I had John and Hector from Periwinkle Massacre. Tommy couldn't make it that day, but damn, man, I don't think we didn't get Joe here. But man, what a show that I've been able to put on and be able to meet some fantastic Corpus Christi talent, man. And big shout out to Travis Crawford, holding 4 fucking championship belts. The pride of Corpus Christi, man. Amateur gone pro. When I had him on the show, he was amateur, and now he's 4 belts deep as a champ. Big props to Big Travis Crawford, man. He is just he's a man, man. I tell you, he's kicking ass. He just won his latest fight, and won another belt in Las Vegas last weekend. Couldn't be so more prouder. And his dad TK is an old friend of mine, and me and TK go way back. And I appreciate you, TK, for getting Travis to come over and do an interview with me. I had a great time. That is one amazing young man, and he's a champion in every sense of the word. So much props, big love, Travis Crawford. I'm hoping that the guys are going to be in here real quick. I'm going to go check my messenger to see if they have any difficulties. Give me 1 second, all right? In the meantime, I'm going to be talking to you guys. Thanks a lot. All right. So coming up this weekend, I got to give props to my friends in Texas Devil. And we also got, of course, Haunt the Sleep this weekend over at the Red Rabbit. The Red Rabbit is going to be going off the 27th. They still have their Battle of the Bands going on. So tickets are available. They're $15. You can contact either of those bands, Haunt the Sleep, Texas Devil, and pick up a ticket. The finals are going to be held at Mesquite Street Live. And I've been there a couple of times and seen some great bands there. That's a great setup. So I think it's going to be a great place to have a finale for it. So much props to the bands that have already played, like Parasite. Shout out Ruben Zavala and his guys at Parasite. And I believe Tony Reyna, my brother, his son, is also in Parasite. So shout out to you guys. I'm really proud of you guys. Keep grinding. You know, I hit up Ruben to see if maybe we could do a show together, but he said, I think your drummer was going to be out of town. So, you know, I'm all about bringing in the way I say it, and the way I like to say it is what I heard from Jamie. When high tide comes, all ships rise. And so I want to help everybody. I think whenever the music community can get a boost by any kind of publicity or promotion, or get a better turnout at any kind of show, I am 1,000% behind that. I want to do whatever I can to be there to promote it and support it. So, you know, and speaking of supporting, Slam Master Fest is coming up June 8th. Slam Master Fest 4. Brought to you by the one and only Slam Master Booking and Promotions. Andrew Elliott, Eric Gutierrez. They got a big show coming at you this year. Impending Doom is their headliner. What the fuck? Impending Doom. Yes. So Impending Doom is going to be hitting the stage along with Dealey Plaza and Darkness Divided. Fuck yeah. You know, I've had Darkness Divided on the show already. Serio and the guys, tremendous fucking band. I love those guys. Great fucking music. I'm down with the Christ Core, man. Absolutely. God bless. Amen. I'm down with the Christ Core. I need that kind of empowerment and that kind of inspiration to fire me up and get me ready. Game time for doing my shit in War Cult and Fistful of Metal, and of course, Annihilator. And you know, we got that Annihilator fucking album getting ready to drop here pretty soon. And I'm really excited. You know, we're going to be co-headlining with Dismember on August 16th at the Paper Tiger in San Antonio. So all my San Antonio friends, make sure you come check me out at the Paper Tiger with Annihilator. Fuck yeah. Co-headlining with Dismember at the Texas Death Metal Festival, August 16th and 17th at the Paper Tiger. And it's also going to be featuring Whiplash. Also, Nasty fucking Savage, hell yeah, and Monstrosity. Fuck, it's gonna be awesome, man. I can't fucking wait. It's gonna be killer. So here we are. We're about 22 minutes into it. Wow. It's a good thing I got a lot to talk about, because I'm missing these guys, and I can't wait till they jump in. But nevertheless, I can't wait to talk to Pissin' Razors, man. I can't wait. So I'm going to keep the show alive. If anybody is out there, give me a shout out or give me some horns in the comment section and let me know you're in the chat room. All right. I love doing this show. I really do. And having Pissin' Razors coming on tonight is something I've been looking forward to for over a month now. And, you know, I've been blessed to be able to rock in this city ever since I think my first show might have been 85, 84. And that was probably like a backyard party with my friends, Chris Pierce and Tom Franco. And we didn't even have a name. I was playing drums, and I know I played some Mi Evil and some Paranoid. And we did Watch the Children Pray from Metal Church off of fucking the Dark album. Man, I love that jam. So yeah, I grew up on drums, man. I was the drummer at heart, and I love bashing shit, and I love playing drums, and you know, and that's why I can't wait to talk to Eddie too, because he is one badass fucking drummer. Oh shit, somebody's coming in. Oh shit, come on, let's make it happen. Oh damn, yeah, let's do it. Are we there? Oh shit, hold on, guys. Come on now. Bring it on there. Now we're talking. Hey, Joe, what's happening, up, bro? All right, man. Thanks for making it tonight. Woo! Yeah. Who else is with you, brother?
Eddie.
Oh shit! Okay, no sweat. There we go. We're back.
Yeah, right now it's Eddie, but he's you know, since we got this show coming up, Eddie's getting some things lined up for the weekend, so that he's got his business covered. And I'm just kind of sitting back right here, enjoying you know, some siesta time. Before we start making some ruckus, and then we have to load up trailers and all that stuff.
I'm telling you, that's right.
But Tony, man, it's nice to see you, brother.
Man, pleasure's all mine, man. Jeez, Joe. You know, I've been really diving deep into all the Piston Raisers music, and it's been such a fucking blessing because I hadn't had a chance to really dive in for a while now, man. And first time I ever heard Dodging Bullets back in the day, man, it's just like, holy shit, who are these guys, man? It just fucking got me by the balls. And ever since then, you know, I've always loved it. I love the production and the tightness and the syncopation that Piston Raisers has always brought to the table.
Right.
And it's like it's like the tightness of Fear Factory with the groove of Pantera, and it always blows me away, man, because that's some of my favorite bands, and you guys have just really been one of the great ambassadors when it comes to Texas metal.
I appreciate that, man. It means a lot. I mean, obviously it's not something that when we got together, we weren't striving for any of that. I think we were trying to build our own, and that's what ended up developing. I mean, obviously, if you know the history of the band started as a punk rock band.
Yeah.
You know? And in the vein of like Gigi Allen, because of Loco Pelon, the singer that came before me. And then right? Yeah, everything else just kind of evolved because of everybody's influences, and you know, and now we're talking 30 years later, we're still kind of trucking along. So, you know, we can't complain. I'll tell you that.
Hell yes, man. Exactly. You can't complain. You know, made me think as I was going through my feed, a friend of mine had posted up a video, and it was an old school video of Piston Raisers playing Zeros back in 2002.
Oh yeah, that was with Dewey. That was with Dewey.
Right, man.
Yeah. I mean, and we probably do have some video footage when we played at Zeros when I was in the band.
Yeah,
but it's probably somewhere. I mean, we've tried to locate as much of the old archives as we can, and it's kind of good because when it does pop up, it's kind of nice to throw it out there and
yes,
just
brother,
kind of relish in the moment and go back in time a little bit.
And you know what, being, you know, over here, Zeros is our fucking metal headquarters, brother.
Yeah.
That was a place to play. That's where all of our metalheads and hardcore kids and punk rock kids would always go and congregate, and always know that's where they can find a great show. And do you think it was it around 99 when you did the show over here?
It was probably 98 and 99.
98, 99.
Yeah, 98 and 99. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were, I mean, those 2 years after the first record came out, I mean, we signed in late 97. We went on our first European tour in February of 98. And that whole year we were gone. I had a child and I wasn't even there for that.
Ouch. Damn, I get it.
So, yeah, I mean, I didn't get to meet her until like 4 months later, you know, and then I was home for a week and left for another 3 months.
Wow.
We were I think that 98 tour was a 10-month run with give or take a couple of breaks. We took, I think, Thanksgiving and Christmas off.
Yeah.
And then right back the following year in 99, Cast Down the Plague was in progress, and they sent us straight to Germany to go record that record over there. So it was nonstop. But yeah, I mean, we definitely visited, you know, your end of the spectrum a couple of times, and definitely had a blast with everybody. And I'm glad we're still connected and in touch with a lot of the folks out there.
Oh man, you got a lot of hardcore fans here in Corpus, dude. I tell you.
Awesome.
I think the last couple of times y'all played here was probably over at Boozer's Rock Bar, and
right.
I had the pleasure of being able to open up with you. At the time, I was playing with my band's Black Lung Conspiracy, and with Dillo
that's
from
right,
like Sufferance and Nine Kills Nine and Annihilator.
Yeah.
And the next time was with another band I had called Screwface, and that was a great time. And you guys are always consistent. You kill it every fucking time, and I love the tightness and the stage presence, man. You guys always fucking deliver the goods.
Thank you, man. Like I said, it's we're not getting any younger. Definitely, we're on the edge of getting much older, but it feels good to still be active, still be able to have the health and the drive and desire to still want to do what we love to do, and which is make the music that obviously entices us first, and then we present it to the masses, and then they love it just as much. So it's amazing. It's awesome. I mean, again,
it's very
not
fulfilling,
complaining
right?
about nothing.
It just it's that's I figure that's why you keep doing it. You know what I mean? After all this time, you could be doing anything, but in this racket, you've created such a career and a catalog of some fucking fantastic metal classics, man. And you keep writing great music, just like on the Eulogy Death March that you put out a couple years ago. It just brutal, bro. Fucking relentless and just consistent. And
yeah, it's nice to have. When we decided to do that, it was nice to have the core guys. Matt again, writing. Yeah. I mean, not taking anything away from the Caesar era and this Fabio at the end and Matt. And, it doesn't matter. It's a mix that everybody loves. There's something for everybody.
Absolutely, man. I was enjoying I was listening to the debut release, man. I gotta ask you, they've got Box Life on there now.
Yeah.
When you re-record it on Cast Down the Plague, there's not too much variation. I can hear a lot of the skeleton, and really it just is that something that you just kind of refined along the way after playing it at shows throughout the years?
No, as a matter of fact, the way that transpired was when we were doing pre-production for the Noise Records release. Obviously, we brought in Andy Sneap to produce the record.
The legend,
so
yeah.
When you talk about production and arrangement, that guy had an ear for something different that we didn't. So he kind of heard the stuff. Obviously, heard the stuff from before when it was presented to him in the demo versions, and then when he came down to El Paso at Eddie's studio. He sat there and said, give me a minute. You guys go do whatever you guys are going to go do. Give me some time to get these songs in order, and you won't be disappointed. So when we heard those songs back, it was just a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
So it didn't take anything away from it. All it did was it just made it stronger and more of a true direction, as opposed to being a little scatterbrainish, where it's kind of like riffs are all over the place and placement, I think it was just more an arrangement thing. But honestly, that has to be all Andy Sneap. And and it turned out to be the best thing ever, because we won't, I mean, it's nice to hear them in its original form.
Yeah.
But I can't hear it any other way than the way it came out on, Cast Down, or the way it came out on the first record. Obviously, he had a hand on both those records.
On both of them, really? The one before that?
Well? He did the self-titled, the blue cover with me on the cover. The first one, he did that one, and then we got him again for the second one. But we recorded that one at Area 51 in Celle, Germany.
Wow, man!
So he did, like I said, he did have a hand in everything that we did. Honest and truly, we can honestly say. But check this guy out.
Eddie, what's up? Pleasure to meet you, bro. Man, great to have you on the show.
Yeah, sorry I'm a little late, man.
No, it's all good, man. Hell yeah. I've been chit-chatting and talking to everybody in the meantime. And I'm just so glad to have you both on here. But before we get started, I just want to finish that thought we were talking about doing that recording in Germany, dude. That was awesome, man. I bet that was amazing being able to go overseas and do that and have Andy Sneap to be able to go over the work. It just kind of, you can feel the push behind you guys after that, man. That must have been a really incredible time for the band.
It was, it was out of necessity because Andy couldn't get into the country. And the label said, well, there's a studio in Germany. We'll get you guys out there. And then it worked out great because, Andy's a great producer. And I think, even back then, he was still kind of sowing his oats, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the studio owner, Tommy Newton, he'd done a bunch of records, more of the power metal stuff, but a really good producer in his own right. So between those two, Tommy would tell Andy, hey, why don't you try this thing? Andy would be like, what's that? Well, it does this, and they sit there and fiddle with it, and all of a sudden we have this great snare drum tone or they're a great, guitar tone, because it was stuff that Andy wasn't familiar with, and Tommy was, and it was just really, really good team effort per se,
No kidding, man. Well, that's really, so what was it about Andy Sneap? Who was it previously that he worked with that made you say, you know what, I need to get him on our stuff?
Well,
that's kind of interesting too.
Yeah,
because it wasn't supposed to end up that way.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
the label owner asked us, well, who do you want to produce your first record? And right off the get-go, the Machine Head More Things Change had just come out, and I freaking love the way that record sounds, sonically and musically. But I go, man, I'd really like to get Colin Richardson. And so Carl Walkerbach, the label owner, he goes, well, I heard there was problems with that record, and Andy Sneap and Rob mixed the record. You hear it through the grapevine, because there was a bunch of, I don't know what the issues were whatsoever. I go, well, that's the guy we want, Andy Sneap, and he had just done the Skin Lab record, which sounded killer.
Right.
So we're like, well, that's our guy,
Yeah. Fuck, that's awesome, man. I didn't know that about the background on those albums, man. Well, no wonder the production sounds so fucking tip top. And, it's so, the arrangements all there. That's all you guys. But I mean, the delivery of it just comes out just as good as any other fucking Pantera, Slayer, and every other great band that came out at that same time. So that's, when it was music to my ears, man. When I heard Dodging Bullets, I'm like, wow, who the fuck is that, dude? And it just gets you by the balls. But because especially the vocalist, the intensity, that hardcore kind of feel, that punk hardcore feel on top of those great metal groove riffs and the double bass, it's just wow, dude. And I think that's the heart of what really, I could say, what Texas metal is about, man. Bands like you, bands like Pantera really have made that Texas metal sound that we're known for nationwide. That and it's a lot like you. It's Eddie, man. The drummer really makes that groove happen, man. And I love the speed that Eddie brings to the table. When it's time to thrash, that's the fucking speed I always love, man. It just that on the verge of just almost going to not grind, but almost a little faster than your average fucking fast beat. And it's what's always turned me on, because I've always come from like a hardcore punk background, and then of course once I started getting better at doing drums, I got more into metal. But the combination of like hearing bands like DRI at the crossover years, The Accused when they first came out, of course SOD, it really gets you fired up. And I was born in 70, so I'm hoping you guys can relate to a lot of these bands I'm throwing at you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought so. So fuck yeah.
I still got you beat by a while.
Yeah.
I can't tell, man. You guys, you look good to me. And I think when I tell my friends, I'm gonna hit 54 this year. It's fucking music. It's metal that keeps me young, bro. It keeps me smiling. So I don't have all the, I love it, brother. So I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the ride as much as I am. Because as a fan, it's great to have Piston Razors, back on the scene, kicking ass, and hopefully it won't be long before we get some new music from you guys. And oh shit, who we got back there, Matt?
Now we got Gio.
Oh, we got Gio. Okay, yeah, that's why I'm wearing my glasses, man. I gotta fuck after all these years. It's not only my hearing's that's going, but sometimes my eyesight's going as well. Gio, pleasure, brother. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you, bro. Good to meet you.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for joining us. Well, let me get to some of these questions I got, man. Talking about gigs, you got a big gig coming up this weekend. You're traveling to Tularosa, New Mexico. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a good one, man. It's a stacked lineup over there of a ton of bands, man. It's going to be called the Spring Fling. Have you done this gig before?
I haven't. I don't think. I think Joe's played it before.
I think I've done it before within one of my other bands that I dabble with. Cool little gigs, nice people. They show up and play. It's nothing about just some diehard folks that want to have a good time.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a blast, dude. So definitely, if anybody watching in New Mexico or you're ready to take a road trip, Piston Razors is going to be fucking destroying shit this Saturday. It's going to be awesome. Fuck yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So let me take it back a little bit. Band. Doing a little research on the band. I heard maybe '93 was the very beginning when Danny and his brother started the band. Danny was on drums, and Eddie was on guitar, and back then Matt was on bass, and then you had another guy, Dave McNutt, on vocals, and here we are, 30 years later. All these different lineup changes and coming back, hitting hard. 2014, getting the whole lineup back together. But especially at this right now, around this year, 30th anniversary. Is there going to be a 30th anniversary tour by chance?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're planning a few things. We're probably going to do it sometime later in the year, but it's going to happen.
Bro.
Like always, we're always late bloomers. But you know what? We make it worthwhile and stuff, and start moving some things around because you got to get the necessities involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going back to that question, we're definitely doing a few things. It is going to be a tour happening. I don't want to blow the load and mention who it is or whatnot. I mean, it's nothing extravagant. It's always going to just be a good time. It's everybody's going to have fun.
Joe Load Blower.
Load blower.
Well, I hope. Oh, let's see. We can get the guys back on here real quick. There we go. All right. You might need to touch it a little bit to the lefty or righty so we can get Eddie more in the picture right there. Yeah, there we go. Good grip shot right there. So thinking about that thought right there, 30th anniversary tour. I'm hoping that maybe Corpus Christi might be on the hit list. I sure hope so.
We're gonna try our damnedest for sure. Like I said, it's still in planning stages.
Okay.
Probably more so than like I said, it's later in the year. Can't say it's too late, but it's not too early neither. Just there was a lot of logistics things that have to happen, and like I said, everybody's busy.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Well, we got to get you here at the House of Rock, man.
It happens quick.
Yeah. Hey, well, you know what? Where there's a will, there's a way, and there's always time, and it's always worth the wait, man. When it comes to Piston Razors coming to town, so I can't fucking wait. It's gonna be killer. So
appreciate that.
The lineup right here that we're looking at has been together since 2014, and I got to give a shout out to that badass fucking cover that you did from fucking Nail Bomb, man, Wasting Away.
Oh.
Beautiful, man. Wow, fucking love the delivery on that, man. Killer. And later on that same year is when you dropped Eulogy Death March, and being 18 years since you released Evolution, you really came back with like a fucking ton of bricks, bro. It was a fucking sick album, and a few of my favorite tracks are like the first track, In Spite of My Scars, In the Shadows fucking kicks ass. Left for Dead, of course, man, is fucking, that's a badass fucking track. And Wasting Away is another great track on there, man. But those ones, are some of the ones I just like to keep repeating back on. But when it comes to that recording, that did you record that at your place, Eddie?
Yeah, it was all tracked here, my studio, and then we sent it out to Sterling, and he mixed it. And me and Sterling worked together in the past, and he's just super freaking cool guy.
Yeah,
super open-minded. So I knew he would be the guy to take care of it, and really kind of take it and make it his own.
Yeah.
And all I told him is like, dude, I don't want it to sound like everything else that's coming out these days. Everything's so in the box with plugins and this and that. I go, there's mistakes on there, man. Leave them on there. It's like it's all right. The drums don't have to be fucking perfect because we're not perfect. It's like, but that gives it the human feel.
The feel.
And I wanted it to sound somewhat organic, instead of all processed and drum replaced and all that kind of shit,
Yeah. That is awesome, man. I appreciate the integrity behind that. That's awesome. Because most bands would be like, fix up wherever we fucked up, but nah, man. And you guys got you can do this shit in your sleep, man. You eat, sleep, piss, shit, live Piston Razors, man. So, if there's any kind of imperfections, we never hear it. It's only be you guys that can recognize it, because it's nothing but just tightness and groove that we all are able to enjoy. But speaking of those tracks, there's a lot of tracks on that album. Were there any that were a bitch to record? Were they hard for y'all?
We actually left a few tracks out that
okay.
There was like I think one was some sort of glitch or something.
It was a recording glitch.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
shit.
So we would have had to gone back and just retract everything, and it kind of worked out in the long run, because eventually we will release those, but we're gonna re-record them.
Very cool. All right, with some extra stuff right there. All right. Well, thinking about last year, you hit the road doing the Vengeance Is Ours tour, and did that take you to the Milwaukee Metal Fest? And oh shit, had you played the fest before in the past?
Yeah, we've done it
we did it 3 times in Milwaukee, and then they did a Texas version
and an LA version
in 2000. So we were a part of all of them.
Wow, man.
So I think it was almost appropriate for us
to
have gotten back on it. And you know what? Not saying it was a given. I mean, we fought for it just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And we were selected just as like everybody else. We got lucky, and it was a very proud moment to be able to do it again. To go back and say, kind of like where we started, and then kind of like went back and recreated that moment, courtesy of Jamie Jasta and his crew that got that thing back together, because it was phenomenal.
I mean, they did a really, really great job with it, for sure.
Did you get to meet Jamie?
Oh, we met him met him in the past.
He's an old friend, man. Yeah. I mean, we met those guys when they were traveling in a van.
Oh, damn!
At the Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Talk about hardcore shows. We were playing the hardcore shows as a Texas metal band, where we didn't belong.
Yeah.
But we had to earn our keep with those hardcore guys, and we did. So we did some shows with the Panderias and and the Hate Breeds and back in the day, so it was fun to still have his friendship and for him to still acknowledge the band after all this time and stuff, and have the opportunity to play his show. Pretty awesome.
That is very awesome. I'm seeing that we might have one other guest. I just want to double check. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I don't want to make sure we weren't leaving anybody out in case maybe Matt was trying to get in or something, just to be on the safe side.
But, I'm not too sure. I know he was on his way, but
okay, cool. If it wasn't for Jamie, I wouldn't have the show. When COVID hit, I'm in food service, so I work at the university here, Texas A&M University. And when COVID hit, man, I had nothing. They laid us all off, and so I spent a lot of time in the backyard just chilling with my dogs. And I wanted to hear about metal, and I was lucky to come across the Jamie Jasta show. And so hearing his podcast and hearing him kind of keep everything rolling on the outside and interviewing bands and hearing what was going on with bands doing things like streaming and doing, live shows and studios and stuff, really just kept me motivated. So if it wasn't for Jasta, man, I wouldn't have the show. So eventually I'm going to have his ass on the show, and I'm going to thank him for having you guys on the show and representing Texas metal up there and giving the respect. And I think he gives the respect to all these bands, man. I think he's a really cool ambassador. So
absolutely,
much props to
he really is. I mean, he's given a shot to a lot of up and coming, and the ones that have been around for years. The opportunity to still go out there and play those big shows like that, it's cool.
Very cool, man. So I've met him, but it was at an Ozfest at one of those little autograph signings and shit like that. So I'm going to get to a question in regards to Ozfest in a little bit, but now I want to kind of take it back to your origins, and let me start with you, Eddie. When I say origins, I want to know, was there an artist or maybe a thing or musician that inspired you to get into music? And what was your first concert?
My first concert, man, I remember that. That was Nazareth, Crocus, and Trapeze.
Oh shit!
Way the fuck back then, man. I think I was like,
I love me some Headhunter.
He did mention he's got a lot of years on us.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like that. I like the history on that. It's badass.
I mean, I was always interested in playing drums, and I was in high school band, and I played trumpet, and I was pretty good at it. And I asked the band director, I go, hey, I want to switch to drums, and he wouldn't let me do it because he wanted me to play trumpet. But I knew
he needed you on trumpet. Yeah,
I knew all the cadences and all that shit. And the first time I got behind a kit was at the jazz band thing, and I mean, just from playing with pencils and stuff, I mean, I could actually play a beat, you know.
Yeah.
And I was just like blown away by it. And you know, after that, my cousin wanted to start a band, and so he went out and bought a drum set and a guitar and an amp, and you know, and they started me off on bass, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And so my other cousin that was playing drums, he quit. So I go, I'll play drums, and that's when I got the drum set, and I didn't have any cymbals. I just play on the rims, and I played for freaking hours like that. And when I finally got some cymbals, I was like, this is freaking heaven.
Yeah. What drummer got you fired up? To anybody that you saw that made you want to start banging?
Not per se, man. To me, it was just the feel of creating a beat, man. Yeah. You know, that was to me, like, that was firing up for me, man. And back in those days, I mean, I grew up in a small West Texas town, so there was no rock and roll station. All I heard was like freaking country music and Spanish music and disco, you know. Yeah. And so I mean, I didn't hear Black Sabbath till they were already broken up. I didn't hear Zeppelin till they were already broken up, and I didn't even know who they were when I first heard them, you know. Yeah. So I came in late listening to the heavier stuff, but I mean, I fell in love with it. That's what I wanted to do, you know.
Yes, hell yeah. Well, Gio, let me ask you the same thing. Was there a particular artist that got you inspired to start playing bass or start playing strings? And what was your first concert?
Black Sabbath, of course, and then Grand Funk.
Black Sabbath and who?
Grand Funk.
Grand Funk. Oh, shit.
Back in the day, there's a lot of bass in them dudes.
That's the good shit right there. Hell yeah.
And then when Kiss Alive and Van Halen came out, dude, that was it. I said, that's what I want to do right there, you know. Really put to the extreme of falling in love with just music and playing.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You know, my first concert was Kiss back in '79. I got to catch them at the San Antonio. I want to say maybe it was the Hemisphere over there, but it was on the Dynasty tour, man. Gene Simmons with the blood and fire. I wanted to be Gene Simmons so fucking bad after leaving that. And, you know, opened my eyes to the fucking world of rock, because it was like, over here we got a radio station called C101, and they had a party bus. So my aunts took me on there, and man, there were people doing coke and smoking and drinking and jamming fucking Kiss loud as fuck on the way over there. I was like, man, this is the shit. I can't wait to be a part of this. I want to fucking do this the rest of my life. And so anyway, that was my first one. But I love that Grand Funk. Hell yeah, and Sabbath. Now give me some, Joe. Who got you fired up to get on the Vokes, and what was your first concert?
Unfortunately, my first concert was not any type of metal.
It was those bookies.
It was fucking. It was Freddie Fender.
Hey, Freddie Fender. That's right, dude. Badass.
Freddie Fender was my first concert. I didn't start. You know, I was never a vocalist before I was actually a guitar player, and Kiss is what started me and all that music. Kiss was my life.
Yes.
Because all my family was involved with all that, and I got to see Kiss, I believe was 1981, the first time around.
Yeah.
And you know, and then from there, and then I started breaking into a lot more of the underground stuff, and then I heard King Diamond, and I about fucking died.
Right? Hell
yeah.
Well,
I'm not King Diamond, but it was Merciful Fate, you know. So from there, that's where the whole vocal stuff started kind of getting in my brain. So if it wasn't for, you know, the King Diamond stuff, the Queensryche stuff, you know, Fate's Warning, I probably wouldn't be a singer. I'd probably still be trying to fiddle with a guitar somewhere, you know, or a bass. So
yeah.
But yeah, back to that first concert, Freddie Fender was the man.
Shit, Freddie Fender. I have one of his hits like on the tip of my tongue, dude.
The one that I know because of my dad was Wasted Days and Wasted Nights.
Wasted Days and Wasted Nights. That's it, man. Man, he lives here.
Yeah, and it's an anthem, because I mean, I can't even hear that song without thinking of my pops. You know what I mean? So.
Oh man, yeah,
it's good.
That's right. It's all good. Oh, that's tight, dude.
The funny thing, my first concert was like Ed. It was Nazareth, but with Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush.
Oh shit!
And Edgar Winter. It was my first show.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
yeah.
Frankenstein, Edgar Winter, fucking
Yeah, dude, that was
damn.
crazy. I didn't really know who Edward Winter was or Frank Marino too much. I just kind of knew Nazareth.
Yeah,
But man, that was
blew you away, right?
good introduction right there.
Definitely, you know, those bands right there, you know, for guys that are going to see those bands like us at our age, seeing us talk about inspiring, like, ooh, shit, I can do that shit too. Hell yeah, turn me on.
Honestly, I just saw ZZ Top for the first time on Monday. I'd never seen
them. The first time.
For the first time, I'd never seen them, man, and I'm a huge fan. I love the band.
Yeah,
and it was super cool to see these guys in their 70s, you know. Just fucking still enjoying fucking playing music on stage and having a good time, man. It was really fucking cool.
Sounded good.
Yeah, it sounded good too.
Sounded really good.
Yep.
I've seen them.
That's awesome, man. And, you know, that means a lot, you know, artist to artist, you know, when you see other guys up there, they're doing what they love and we know how we love it. And, you know, if anybody's seen the ups and downs of fucking of the music business, it's definitely been, you know, the guys from ZZ Top. They've lived it, you know, and they always hasn't been a high ride. You know, before they did like, you know, Eliminator, you know, they were always huge in Texas and, you know, I'm sure in this market, but when Eliminator hit and MTV hit, that just fucking made them go worldwide right there.
Yeah, propelled them for
something
sure.
Big props to ZZ Top, man. I missed them here in town, man. They were here on 420 on Saturday, and I missed it, man. But I've been having some busy weekends, and I needed to, you know, you got to give time to the family, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's right.
That's what makes a balance, you know what I mean? To be able to go out there and grind and take care and be a dad and be a grandpa and all that other good stuff, man. That man, it fires me up. I know. I'm sure you got grandkids.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm talking about. It's like a whole new, like hitting it again and get you. I love it, man. So let me keep rocking over here.
Up and coming.
Keeping it in the old school. Eddie, tell me, what was your favorite band in high school?
High school. Let me see. I'd have to say a few. Like Dio was huge for me. Maiden, of course.
Ooh.
Saxon.
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, Grim Reaper. Yeah, they were great.
See you in hell, my friend.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all those types of bands that were around at that time. It's like, man, I would not miss a show, man. Go to every single one of them. And ironically, you know, I saw Maiden probably like 7 times.
Oh, hell.
Throughout the years, touring with Overkill, you know, I got to mix on the same stage that they played.
Oh,
and then when they played with Overkill, we got to open for them a couple times on the same stage. So it was pretty surreal, man. But pretty crazy, yeah.
Living the dream out there, bro. That's awesome.
It was a trip.
I can only imagine. Wow. Oh man. Okay. All right. So, Gio, tell me, who were you jamming to in high school? Who was your favorite band?
Shit, man. The 80s were so many, dude. I mean, I can remember the Scorpions, Crocus.
Yeah.
You know, AC/DC, of course.
AC/DC, yeah.
Iron Maiden. The first Def Leppard was a pretty damn good record.
Oh, shit. On Through the Night. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. UFO. I mean, there was so many back then, you know.
I'm telling you, man.
They were all killer.
They were super
get the
killer,
cake parties
man.
rolling and play all that shit.
Yes. Love the parties back then, dude. Yeah. Spinning some vinyls and shit. Yeah. Joe, give me some.
Cake parties, and we jam. We get up there 3 bands a night. Like $2 to come in, and we'd all play and shit.
Oh, those are the good old days, all right, man.
The good old days. Not having to break the bank to get to see a good band.
Right. Fuck yeah, exactly. And sometimes, you know, beer would be included until the keg floats or something, you know.
That's right.
So, what were you listening to back in high school, Joe? Who was your favorite?
Mine's easy. Judas Priest.
The Priest.
Oh, yeah, Priest. How could I forget
Judas Priest was I was drawing the damn fucking covers and everything. Oh yeah. I don't even know. Can we cuss on here?
You can, absolutely.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I was jamming, you know, and I would actually draw the covers. So it was Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
listening. Those were the three that were top dog. And then, of course, I had Ronnie James. That was right there, just part of the leader of the pack.
Yeah.
And then, but you get into everything else after that. But those were the ones that were the driving forces at the time. Of course, Kiss, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. Those were the true classics.
Yes. You know what? I'm surprised none of you guys had even mentioned Metallica yet.
Not yet. And I was about to just now, but that's considered one of the ones that were still kind of in the back.
But we hadn't got there yet. You already had already been hearing all these other great bands before Metallica even hit it.
We actually saw them in a nightclub.
Metallica played here in El Paso and at this place called the Big Apple. And it was like in 1981 or something, or 82.
It was Metallica and Armored Saint.
It was 82, 83, and it was Metallica and Armored Saint.
Fuck yeah. Yes.
So but they weren't something that we were listening to all the time. You had the big mainstream ones. And then, of course, then time changes, 83, 84, and then you start getting into the Ride the Lightning Metallica. Then Kill 'Em All was already fucking coming up hard.
Yes.
Ride the Lightning comes up, and it changed the game.
Exactly. In our world of metal, they were the biggest band ever when they hit Ride the Lightning. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, that changed everything. I mean, Kill 'Em All was badass.
Yeah.
But Ride the Lightning, and then of course, to follow Master of Puppets came after that. I mean, it just again the landscape changed overnight pretty much.
And let me ask you, did the Wasp Ride the Lightning Metallica tour roll through El Paso? Because I think it was Wasp on their opening album, and they had Metallica opening up.
No, they never came.
I don't think they came. Yeah, they didn't come.
Oh, they're wrong for that, man. I swear, you can do a whole fucking Texas tour and get 10 fucking great dates if you just stick with Texas. I don't know.
Right.
Some bands like Maiden would do that. Maiden would fucking love it here in Texas. They'd make the Beast on the Road shirts. Oh man. That's the kind of classic shit. I love when bands do that, when they really customize their shirts and do special things. And when you're from Texas, man, we take a lot of pride in it. And there's so many metalheads in here, and especially when I think of going to all the shows, I think I haven't been to very many shows in El Paso, obviously. All right, but when it comes to metal shows, I gotta say, Corpus is probably one of the most violent scenes and places. Like whenever Slayer plays here, there's always tons of fights, and shit just starts getting out of hand. When like Hatebreed plays, shit gets out of hand. But when it comes to San Antonio, there's always a great crowd, a huge fucking market. Austin, very good, but not as good as San Antonio. And Houston, almost as good as San Antonio. But I feel like San Antonio is like that mecca when it comes to Texas. That man, it just all the generations have always been such great followers of fucking hard rock and metal, even though they never had like a Texas jam like Houston did. I was impressed when San Antonio finally had the River City Rock Fest. I was like, it's about fucking time. One of these towns and one of these cities in Texas got to fucking bring back a big festival. And then we got two, and that was it. So
those Texas jams were huge, man.
Those are the shit back then.
Van Halen, the lineup, we're like, holy crap, look at all these kick-ass bands.
You think of those nowadays, you're like, man, talk about fucking dream festivals, man. Yeah. Shit. And they were all in their heyday. It was the Nuge. Fuck yeah. And I'm thinking like Kingdom Come, I gotta give them props. I think they opened for Metallica or something on one of those shows, and just super fucking times, and it brings back a great time in my heart. I wish I would have had an older brother to take me to those shows, but unfortunately I heard from other friends, older brothers, hey, y'all missed it, dude. It was fucking badass, and we heard some great stories.
My older brother took me to all these. I got to see Randy Rhoads. We saw Randy Rhoads about a week before he passed away.
Oh wow!
He played in El Paso, then a week later, the accident.
History. What a show that was.
There's a story with Quiet Riot. Quiet Riot played what we used to have called it was a party on the levee.
Right next to the river, the Rio Grande. It was
on the river, and Quiet Riot was supposed to headline that show.
Yeah.
So they turned everything around, and they went out around 1 in the afternoon for the fact that they got picked up to go play the US Festival.
Oh shit!
So the very next day, they played the US Festival and they blew up, dude. They were so big after that.
They blew up
So we
huge.
saw them the afternoon before. We saw them at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon before
How
they blew
quickly
up.
it changes, right? You know, almost
Next
literally
day,
overnight.
huge.
Love
that
those
US
guys
Festival
too,
was
man.
another one that was killer.
Yeah.
They only did it 1 year.
Yeah, I think the US Festival did maybe 2 years or 1 year.
I want to say only 1 year. It was
That
just
was-
one of those. It was too good to be true, and it's hard to duplicate.
On that.
Yeah, it's hard to duplicate. Well, let me ask: did Pissing Razors ever have a chance to open for Pantera or maybe do an Ozfest?
No, man. No, I got to be pretty close with Dime and Vinny.
Yeah.
Throughout the years, and I think if the band would have stayed together, and I think somewhere down the road we definitely would have done some shows with those guys. But unfortunately, things happened the way they did, and we don't have either of the brothers anymore. So it was pretty crazy, man. It really weird things with those guys. Before Dime passed away, we're hanging out, and he was going to start a side band. And he goes, "You want to play drums?" I'm like, "Oh, fuck yeah. Of course I want to play drums for it."
Yes.
But soon after that, Pantera broke up, and that's when Damageplan came into play and became their main thing,
Yeah.
And so, anyways, Dime gets killed, and then so some years later, I'm out. I'm mixing Overkill, and we're in Vegas. And Vinnie Paul shows up to the show, and the band starts playing, and he comes right over, a song or two in. He goes, "Ed, fucking mix sounds killer, dude." And then so after the show, he goes, "Dude, fucking, let me have your email, blah blah blah." He goes, and then he emailed me like maybe about a month later. He goes, "Hey, I want to throw your name in the hat for the Hell Yeah tour to do front of house for us." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, man!" And then a few weeks later, he passed away. It just really.
Yeah. Oh man. So tough, man. Oh my goodness. And he was just every great loss of all these legends that we've been able, like the first one, I think that it takes me back to Cliff when I was in high school, and I heard that Cliff died. And I was like, oh God, oh no. And then you hear about like Chris Cornell, and it's like, oh shit, that's another ball breaker right there. And you hear about Dime, it's like, oh, but it's like the way Dime went was like the worst way ever, dude. It's like,
and I'll give you another like insight on how weird. I guess we had some sort of connection, but I was on tour with Ministry in 2004, and we kept crossing paths with Damageplan. So we'd have a day off, and they'd be playing. We'd go to their show.
Cool.
And the last time I saw him was in Canada, in Toronto, I believe it was, and we had called the tour manager to get passes for the Ministry crew and the opening bands that wanted to go to the Damageplan show.
Yeah.
And when we got to the door, we were one short. So I told everybody, just go on in. I'll wait outside, wait for the tour manager to get a pass. So I was standing outside of the bus, and it was snowing. And Mayhem, the tour manager, comes out and goes, "Hey man, what are you doing here?" I'm part of the Ministry tour. We were one pass short. We're just waiting for a pass. He goes, "Well, come on the bus. Everybody's asleep, but you can hang out in here. It's cold outside." So I go on the bus, and I sit down, and like 5-10 minutes later, first one out of the bunk alley is Dimebag.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Ed Razor, what are you doing here, man?" I go, "I'm waiting for a pass, dude." But it was one of the only times where had like one-on-one time just to shoot the shit with him,
Yes.
because there was always people around anytime you're around partying with that guy.
Sure.
But really cool, man. We had a good 30-40 minutes of just one-on-one, just talking about regular life shit.
Yeah.
And then the second one out of bunk alley was Vinny. Same thing. "Hey, Razor, what the fuck are you doing here?"
Yeah, Razor.
So then it was the three of us, and we sat there for a while and shot the shit.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I got to talk to him, man. And a couple days later, shooting happened in Columbus, and another weird coincidence. So that happened. The next day, we were supposed to play Detroit, and that show got canceled.
Okay.
After Detroit, we're flying to Mexico City to play a festival. And so we fly to Mexico City, we play that festival. And on the way back, it was that was the last show. We fly to Dallas, and from there I was supposed to fly home to El Paso.
Yeah.
And when I got to Dallas, I found out that the Dime services were the next day, so I changed my flight.
Oh, wow.
Called a friend. She came over and picked me up, and went to the friends and family services, and then ended up going to the public one.
Yeah.
But it's just weird how everything kind of lined up to where, I was able to attend.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man. Yep. Hey, what a blessing. What a blessing to be able to be available and to make it happen like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. That's deep, bro. That's real deep. Well, let me ask you this, getting on a different topic. I feel like I kind of got into that one right there, dude. That was deep, man. Because, we love the Abbott brothers, man. Anybody that's had a chance to meet those guys know that they're full of personality. They're just so much fun to be around. And they give out that aura of fucking metal and that rock stardom, man. And they're humble as fuck. They're
never in a pompous way by any means.
Yeah, man. I've been to a couple of different autograph signings they've done over here in Corpus, and easy as fuck guys to meet. And, I turn them on to my band stuff, and they were like, dude, fuck yeah, dude, I'll check it out. And as much as I wanted them to wear one of my band shirts, I never got to see them wear it, but they were like, hey, dude, these are cool, dude. Yeah, dude, thanks a lot for the shirt. Super supportive as well of the metal scene. Dude, awesome. Well, let me ask you this. Do you guys like to collect anything like souvenirs, posters, and vinyls? Over the years, I'm sure you probably came across a lot of goodies. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. That's what I see back there. Kick ass. That's what I like. Yeah. Oh, dude. Nice. Yeah, look at all those passes, dude. Holy shit. Oh, dude. Wow. Is this your place, Ed?
Yeah, it's my shop and studio. Here's the studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Matt.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Good to see you, man. How are you, brother?
Pleasure, man. Pleasure's mine, man. Good to meet you, bro.
Mine as well.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Very cool. Very cool.
How's the interview going?
We're having a blast, dude. It's going good.
Yeah, these dudes got great stories, man. I'm the boring one of the crew here, but these dudes got some good stories here.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad I got you in the mix right now, because before I move on to my last segment, I do a bit called Draw the Line. And what I do during Draw the Line, I'm gonna offer up a couple of bands, and you're gonna tell me which ones you pick out of them. But before we get there, I just got two more questions for you guys as a group. Sure. Us being in metalheads and stuff, I've always been drawn to horror movies, dude. And, I love horror. So, do you like horror as well?
I'm not the biggest horror fan of the crew. I know some of the other dudes are really big horror fans, but I've enjoyed a horror movie or two. I just don't know, as far as that's concerned, what's really good or not,
Okay. Well, where I was going to go with this to kind of hear what maybe your favorite slasher is if you were, okay, let me just make sure I read the question right so I get it right. What slasher would you like to be killed by?
Ah, that's a good one, man. That is a good one. I'll tell you, the Freddy movies, I really appreciated when I was young, man. I like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies a lot. I really dug those. I thought they were real creative as far as like the way they really stretched the character and the plot, and the storylines were always really, had a little bit of humor in there, but then you still had some of the gore and the blood and the guts and everything. It was cool, man. So I would say Nightmare, Freddy was my guy there.
That's a good one. And you know what? I think on one of these streaming channels, they got a new show. It's going to be a miniseries called Fred. So
you're kidding? Okay. Wow, that's cool.
It looks pretty cool.
Okay, cool, man. Right on.
How about you, Joe? Who would you like to get slashed by?
Oh, it has to be Jason.
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I want to hear it right before it happens. That way it's in my ear and like I know what's coming.
I mean, hey, I think it would be, imagine the next movie comes out and you're going to be an extra, and it's like, hey, all right, the next Jason movie's come out. Hey, dude, I'm up. He can kill me. You know what I mean?
It's
So,
like, it's, as long as you hear that little, it's coming. It might be you. It might be the guy next to you.
That's right. Someone's getting it.
Somebody's gonna get it.
Someone's gonna get it. He's fucking lurking.
Yeah.
And even back in the day, they had the fucking Jason in 3D Part 3 with the glasses.
Yeah.
That was some fun shit back in the day, dude.
They got real creative with that stuff for sure.
Well, let me ask you. So we got this weekend show coming up, New Mexico. What's coming up next for the Piston Razors Nation after this gig?
I'll let Joe jump in on that.
We kind of started off a little bit. Of course, we do have a tour coming up sometime at the end of the year, not too far in the end. We do plan, me and Matt already started working on some, well, more so him than me, but working on a couple of singles that we're gonna release.
Yeah.
And then maybe another cover song.
Mm-hmm.
So expect at least 2 new songs, and then we're gonna do a cover song.
Yeah.
Killer.
So just to kind of get everybody kind of warmed up to what's going to come up, because we're going to release another record for sure.
Right.
But we're going to warm it up with a couple of singles.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, man. I've got an original band that it's been tough. I've had the luxury of having a band in the 90s called Integrity for 10 years, and we played with everybody over here, and then another band called Killamora in the 2000s for 10 years.
Nice.
And in between that, I've been in tribute bands for Pantera and cover bands over here. And now I got it back into the original mix, and I got a new band called War Cult. And man, it's like pulling teeth to be able to get all the chemistry and everything right in this band. It's really made me appreciate the other bands I've been a part of. And now that we've gone through the bullshit and got a good lineup, it can make me appreciate the hard work and all the determination, the perseverance that we went through. And you guys know all about perseverance.
I have to say the same thing as far as chemistry. So, chemistry is a tough thing to hone in on.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very fortunate to be surrounded with close friends. Joe and I have been friends since we were kids. So we started jamming the covers, the King Diamonds and the Anthrax, and the Testaments when we were, I was like 13 years old when me and this dude were jamming in his mom's living room or my grandparents' living room. And so chemistry has been something we've had a chance to build on through the years. Then, getting the opportunity to build a relationship with Eddie over the last 35 years has been great as well.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. Chemistry is super tough to find and super tough to hone. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I appreciate that sentiment on your behalf to say chemistry is a tough thing to come by. And we're very fortunate to have it in this band.
Very fortunate, dude. Hell yeah, the magic is there, dude. The magic stage wise, the last recording, of course, Eulogy Death March coming back brutally hard.
Right on.
Dead as fuck. Well,
yeah, we appreciate that, man. We worked really hard on it. We had the fortune of working on it through the pandemic, so it allowed us to focus on something positive like music, new music, and be able to build on some creativity and chemistry. So we were really happy to do that.
Talk about quarantine. Yeah, we quarantined for good.
Yeah.
It gave us that chance to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it did it for not only us but for a lot of other bands.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were able to find themselves again.
Yeah.
Because getting back together and playing the old songs is cool, but creating new music over all the years and stuff to see if you still have it transpired very well. So we were able to represent that in the 21 release with the Eulogy Death March, and very damn proud of it for sure.
Yeah. Same here.
Absolutely. Very proud of it. Hell yeah. Very enjoyable from a listener's point of view. Fucking badass. Well,
appreciate that.
Before we wrap things up, I got a few things real quick. Like I said, I got this segment called Draw the Line. So let's get to it real quick.
Let's do it.
Start with 2 of my favorite bands right here. You tell me who you like. Starting with you, Matt. Fear Factory versus Biohazard.
I'll tell you this. I was a little more on the Fear Factory side, really into the technicality and the futuristic aspect of the band. I think when they came out, they incorporated a lot of really interesting elements to their music. Not to say that Biohazard didn't. I absolutely respect Biohazard, all the way. And I know their fan base is super, die hard and behind the band and stuff.
Down for life.
Dating back, I would say I'm a little more on the Fear Factory side, and their music touched me a little more as far as inspirational.
Got you. Hell yes. How about you, Joe?
I would have to agree. I mean, I love all the music. I love everything that we've ever listened to.
Right.
But at the time that we were kind of representing ourselves, I think that kind of fell more in line.
Sure.
Even though that when you talk about the Biohazard stuff, the aggressiveness was there just as much too, because I was more anxious, wanting to fucking get in there and whoop that ass, So so now going back to incorporate them both together and mix that up a little bit, that's a tough sell right there.
For sure.
It's a tough sell. But I'm still going to lean more towards the Fear Factory, because that gave us a little bit more of the edge on what we're doing. And that's the reason why you have those comparisons. We've never really touched base on the early years of the Pissing Razors with the hardcore style, which was very raw, but it never really had any kind of identity to any of those hardcore elements. So I'm still going to lean on the Fear Factory side, but we love the Biohazard stuff.
Absolutely.
And anything that had to do with that, because obviously we're good friends with we did some shows with Biohazard.
We did.
And then we had the opportunity to tour with Propane, which is the good bros with those guys.
Propane,
so
Gary,
can't take nothing away from it, man. It gave us, we learned a lot of stuff from all of that era.
Joe's actually right, and a good thing. Really fortunate to do a lot of shows. We learned a lot of aspects of the DIY. Get out there and get up and throw and go and play and no excuses type of attitude. So that comes from the hardcore elements. And we played with tons of great hardcore bands, as Joe mentioned, Propane being one of them, and really allowed us to hone our skills with those dudes out on the road. Biohazard, great dudes. Great to see them back out playing. Right. They're touring again, playing in front of huge crowds. And so we really appreciate the fact that they're back out there and speaking to the masses, So we love it.
Hell yes. Very well said, guys. How about this, Nick? These two bands, Overkill versus Anthrax.
Ooh. I'll go first, but I'll say Anthrax was one of my first really diehard bands that I totally got into way back in the early phase of the band, Madhouse and the early aspects of the band. We really dug that killer New York sound, Scott Ian and those dudes really up the tempos, and they really created an atmosphere that I dug a lot, man. I still do. We were able to see them at Milwaukee Metal Fest, and they sounded incredible, man. Incredible. Sounded incredible. Yeah.
Y'all played the same day?
We played
the next day.
The following day. Yeah, we played with Lamb of God, and then they headlined the day before. So
killer. Yeah. Killer. So you're going Anthrax then?
I'm going Anthrax, but I do respect Overkill big time. I do, man. They are a legend in the speaking,
You're just making it too damn difficult.
It is.
I'm gonna make them trickier as we go.
Because there's some background on that too.
Yeah, there's.
So obviously Anthrax is, again, one of those bands that just, we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
Those are you have your mainstream Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, you have all this stuff, but then you have those Metallicas and everybody in the back. But you have to remember that the underground was the underground, and and then you have when I heard Overkill, the first one was
Feel the Fire,
and
that
was my thing. I was totally on the fucking Overkill side, and I still am. I love Anthrax, but I'm gonna go Overkill because there's a back in the day when we were touring, you know, relentlessly, and we're talking 98, we had a show in Baltimore, Maryland, and I woke up one day with no voice whatsoever.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, I'm sitting there in this club, and I've never had to cancel the show. And this particular day, I had to cancel the show because I just didn't have anything to give.
Shit.
And I'm sitting there just pissed off and pouty and angry at, you know, at the world, at the bar. And here comes the guy that I fucking was looking up to, Bobby Blitz.
Bobby.
And he's like, wow, what's going on, man? You know, you're right, man, you're right. And he gives me this killer advice and gives me what I should be doing and what I should be taking to take care of myself and take care of the voice, to be able to have that, you know, the whole, it's a, you know, it's longevity. It's your tool. It's your art. It's your instrument.
Yes, sir.
And ever since that day, I'll never forget it. He gave me that speech, and it was an uplifting kind of moment.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've never looked back. So I have to go with the Overkill.
Yeah. Not to mention, I mean, there's a personal tie to the band. You know, Eddie's closely tied to those dudes. They always represent, you know, and help us out and you know, speak highly of the Razors. So we got to give them props. You know, I'm just speaking, and Anthrax was just one of the first metal bands that just really got me going into metal. So
I dig it, man. Definitely. I try and make these tricky. And you know what?
I know.
That's tough.
Charlie Benante on drums right there. Charlie was pushing it on drums.
Yeah,
I think he was already pushing it on, I want to say, Gun Ho on Spreading the Disease, and that came out before Rain and Blood.
Yeah, no one was playing drums like that dude, man. He was jamming, dude, and he still is.
Yes.
He's double duty Pantera. You know, he's in the Pantera camp, and then he's still doing his Anthrax stuff. So we love to see that, man. You know, carrying the legacy.
I love it. Exactly. I'm with you 1,000%.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. I think this is gonna be tricky right here. Machine Head versus Chimera.
Oh, damn.
Chimera,
yeah. I'll say I love both bands, man. I think, you know,
again, make it hard, bro.
It's a tough.
I think that you three bands would be like a fucking dream package.
We'd love to do it.
Oh, man,
let's make it happen.
Why don't we
just make this happen, right?
If anybody's listening out there that has any ties to that, let's just make that package happen. Yeah.
I'll say this. So our drummer Eddie, in the early '90s, he had a local club here called The Attic, and I was one of the stagehands out there, and then I worked a bar sometimes and whatnot. Joe did as well. But one of the first pivotal bands I ever saw in a small club setting was Machine Head, and they were out with Stuck Mojo. I don't know if you remember Stuck Mojo.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Stuck Mojo was incredible too. But Machine Head put on a stadium-sized show for 200 people that just was unforgettable. And people still to this day locally talk about that show. And that was on the Burn My Eyes era stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, just history wise, that was the first impression of one of the most professional bands I've ever seen put on a stadium sized show in a club. So I'm gonna go Machine Head on this one.
Yeah.
I love Chimera though. Let me say that.
Yes, Impossibility of Reason.
Yes, man.
That's it right there.
And we, you know, working with Andy Sneap, he worked with them as well. So we got we got the opportunity to hear some pre-production stuff that was killer. So it was like we got to listen to some early on stuff going on in there. So
wow,
I love that band, man. We'd love to do some shows with those cats.
Big time, bro. Hell yeah. What do you think, Joe? Which way are you gonna go with that one? Machine Head versus
again. I love Chimera. They did come a little after the fact. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Machine Head again. Another backstory. And it's on the producer side, you know, because again, like we mentioned earlier, when we were talking, you know, I was listening to that record, you know, and we had just been signed, and they're asking all these questions. Who's the one that you would like to have produce your band? And we are hearing that record, you know, Burn My Eyes was amazing. And the more things change comes out, and it's like, what the hell just happened? Mm-hmm. I had nothing but to say when they asked me that. I told Eddie, I said, bro, the guy we need is Colin Richardson. That's the guy. We need him. That's who's making us going to sound like that. Because Machine Head came out, like the song says, 10-ton hammer. they came out like a 10-ton hammer. It kicked everybody in the head.
Yeah.
And I love all that music, Rob Flynn, we love the dude. We just saw him up there in Milwaukee Metal Fest. We had a great time, And but I have to stick with that because of that same reason. It gave us, it had that little element that gave our band, the little band from Texas, not ZZ Top, but Pissing Razors. It gave us that spark to give that our edgy sound.
Yeah, for sure.
And it put us to that level, and we wanted to kind of emulate what they were doing, not to copy them, not to outdo them, but to just be there right alongside and make some goddamn history. You know what I mean? And,
Fuck yes.
I think that we've done that. Like I said, I think we've earned our own. But yeah, I got to hand it to them because you know what? They laid down some good fucking roots and some fucking roadmaps. Hard to follow kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
very impressive. I'm gonna go Machine Head, brother.
Yeah, they're great, man.
Chimera, we love you guys.
We love you too.
Guys sound fucking great. And I'm glad you guys got back together to do some shows, and hopefully there's some more.
Yeah, we got to do some stuff for those cats.
Fuck yeah, that would be awesome. I can't wait. I'll be there. I'll make the road trip to see that.
Let's do this.
Fuck yes. Okay, next one. This one might be a little tricky. How about Superjoint Ritual versus Damage Plan?
Ooh.
Again, that one hurts.
Yeah,
I know it would. I knew it was. Let's see what we got here.
This is a tough one, but what I'll say is what I like about Superjoint is it has more of a punk aspect to it. It has a more dirty and gritty, grimy aspect to the music. So in terms of that, Damage Plan was a really polished, really great sounding, production. The songs were really tight. But for me, with the way the Razor started, we started really more on the punk heavy side. And so I'll say Superjoint just for that specific reason, is they had more of a punk aspect to them that I appreciated. So
I dig it. I know what you mean. I dig it. How about you, Joe?
Again, another hard one. I love everything that Phil does. Very edgy music, angry music. But I'm gonna have to stick to the brothers. They laid down a foundation. Whatever reason, they disbanded and had to go their separate ways, and that's kind of the thing that I would never hope would happen to us.
Right.
They went through a hard time. It was very talk about trials and tribulations. That was pretty tough because they both came out with some great music.
Yeah.
They're all the way across the board.
You're right.
But, we knew those guys, and to see them at the end kind of just restarting themselves. Right. It was kind of like a hard pill to swallow for a lot of the guys that, that grew up to the Panteras and all that stuff, So I love Phil and everything that he does to this day, but I miss those other cats and the music that they created with Pantera. But what they did do on the Damage Plan stuff was very, very cool. Very heartfelt. You can hear it. You can hear it. So when they actually when the whole incident happened with Dimebag, I think those songs play out a lot more. As far I sometimes I can't even hear them because I just remember the dude so much, and the moments that we had a pleasure of enjoying with them and hanging out and talking to them, and so that's more on a personal kind of thing. But God bless them both, man. This one's gonna be a tie on my end. I'm not gonna call either one. I'm just gonna appreciate that both sides are badass.
Yeah, that's great.
I got you. Hell yeah. Respect. Rest in peace.
100%. I won't take it away from Phil, and I ain't gonna take away from the Abbotts, Vinnie Paul, Dimebag.
Great dudes.
Great dudes. And
I think I can speak for all of us. We literally think about these two guys every day in one way or another. They cross our mind. They're always.
I think the great thing is, and maybe Eddie may have mentioned that, earlier in the segment, but really it's the approachability of the guys in the band. The brothers just wanted to create a fun atmosphere, very approachable, very, very welcoming. Prior to that, some of the legacy acts, it was really tough because they were so high perched. You felt like you could never be right there next to them and enjoying a conversation or a beer or just a quick chat or something. Those dudes made it easy to be approachable.
It was totally
the great thing about
it was
them.
totally the opposite.
Yeah, very approachable.
It's like they almost went out of their way to
Yeah.
to talk to all of us.
Yeah,
That's special. That's huge.
And sometimes, unfortunately, in this business, you do see the people that run away.
Yeah.
And and their end, they never ran away from it.
And look at the number of people and stories they've touched. You still see, hey, look, I've got a picture with Dime here. I got a picture with Vinny, and hey, we were having a beer, and they were cool. They let us hang out. It's like that's what it's about, man. Right? At the end of the day. Right. So, all right.
Hell yes. Okay, let's keep it going. All right. I only got a couple more for you.
Let's hear it.
After this, I got 3 left. Okay, here we go. Lamb of God versus Testament. Holy shit.
Making these tough,
Dude,
brother.
That's almost a kick in the balls.
Making these tough.
Guitarists are fucking killers. The bass players, the drummers, the vocalists.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
tough, man.
Where do you how do you beat Chuck Billy, Joe? Fuck.
Damn.
Man.
But
Chuck
with
Billy
Randy,
is-
right? If there's anybody, maybe Randy, but let's go.
I'll
back.
say this, man. One of the pivotal shows we played early on in our tenure was we did play with a Testament here in El Paso at a really great place called Club 101. Owner of the club was very supportive of the Razors, getting us on that bill. Then it introduced us to the guys in Testament who were extremely welcoming and extremely supportive, and gave us some tips, some advice, but just we're very welcoming in the same way the Abbott brothers and the Pantera crew were and stuff, and really gave us a chance to share a stage with those cats years and years ago. Great show.
Fuck yeah.
So in terms of that was the first introduction, and Joe and I were doing Testament covers when, like I say, when we were 13 with the Anthrax stuff. So it's like Practice What You Preach was one of our set list tunes. I'll go with Legacy and say Testament on this one, but man, the Lamb of God dudes have really carried the torch for metal over the last few years, right? You can't deny anything. They're everywhere. People love them. They're, if you even want to look at it, they're the new age Pantera, where it's like they're on every great lineup, every great bill. Those dudes are super cool. So, but yeah, Testament was our first impression and one of the first shows we did that was really killer.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
This one's you're making it hard. It's getting harder every question. No, I mean, again, going back to the Testament era, loved them in the early years. Practice What You Preach was the record that sold it for me.
Yeah.
And then Low came out.
Yeah.
That one had some of that dirty, gritty, low vocals that Chuck would do.
Yes.
So I loved every single minute of it.
Yeah.
Alex and Pete, Eric are gods, of course,
Yeah.
And they've had so many great musicians.
Yeah, had some great.
We even had the opportunity to play with them in Europe a couple of times, and they had, James Murphy, and I think Lombardo played.
Yeah,
Lombardo was playing drums, and we played with them out there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jesus. But now you talk about the Lamb of God guys. We met those guys very, very early when I think they opened up for us somewhere in Virginia. I think it might have been Richmond, in the hometown, or maybe somewhere else. But talk about Randy and the guys being the coolest and being like the new version of what Pantera was.
Yeah.
And, because if they were still here, they'd be the same.
Yeah.
But those guys, every time they come to El Paso, they always give a shout out to anybody in El Paso that ever touched their heart. So again, it's going to be one of those toss-ups for me. I love them both, and much love to Chuck and the crew over there, and Randy and the guys, and Art and stuff like that. We saw Art también in Milwaukee. So, that's you're killing me, brother.
I'm telling you, okay, good. I love it. I love the background.
All we gotta
stories,
say is
dude.
just much love to everybody, because goddamn,
Yeah.
it's an inspiration all the way across the board, man.
That's it.
Absolutely. Good. Okay, here's one of our favorites, man. It's about Max. Soulfly versus Sepultura.
Bingo.
Oh,
Yeah, you got it's like Andreas versus Mark Rizzo in a certain, you know what I mean? Oh shit.
I lean into the Sepultura era, and there's a particular reason. Our soundman Ben, who's dearly departed, he's no longer with us, but he was our soundman for a couple of decades.
Wow,
that was one of his first pivotal favorite bands, and he introduced me and Joe and the guys to Sepultura years and years ago, and we even got to see them on the Pantera run. So it was Sepultura, Pantera, and it was such a great tour. And then getting to meet those dudes and just seeing how down to earth those cats were. Igor, just insane drummer, pivotal, inspirational. You know, people were not playing the way Igor was playing 30 years ago. People were not doing the shit he was doing. So I lean into the classic Sepultura era myself.
Fuck yeah. What do you think, Joe?
Chinga, pues fregones, man. It's damn. It's hard, bro. But no, Sepultura has to be the ticket. Love Max.
That's the answer.
I mean, that's Max. I mean, that's Max and Andreas and, you know.
Yeah.
Paulo, you know, Paulo and Igor doing their thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Soulfly is badass because it's Max. He's the voice of Sepultura. Everything that Rizzo's done, great. And all the guys that have been in Soulfly,
right?
Amazing. Amazing musicians, amazing guys. We've met sporadically some of the cats that have been involved that Max has had over the years. But I mean, to stick to a particular one on this one, I'm gonna have to go Soulfly. I mean, Sepultura and Soulfly again. They're not to take nothing away, man. He's got the music, but it's Max.
He's still going though.
It's Max's
I think
voice.
Soulfly is putting out a new album. I think soon.
Yeah.
He made mention of. So that's killer, man.
Yes.
Great to see that dude still going. He's got a lot of respect in the metal community, man.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. But real quick, while we're mentioning Soulfly and some new music coming out. Y'all know another guy, another fellow Texan named Mike DeLeon?
Yes.
I knew y'all would.
Absolutely. And I was fortunate enough. So our colleague and former Razor guitar player Caesar played the final campaign for the Slayer tour. So he's in ministry now. Yeah. And Mike was in the Illegals with Phil, and I got to see him jam in Vegas, and it was so killer, man, because that dude's a fucking insanely good guitar player. He's very underrated, but that dude is killer, man, and just a really cool, approachable dude. So he's killer, man.
Shout out, Mike. Hell yeah, much love.
Very quiet, band. Mike, but with a little bit of a bike.
That's
he's killer, man.
Okay, this is the last one of the night. I'm gonna let you guys go after this. We're talking about Pantera versus Slayer.
Oh man, that's the tops of.
Can you? It's like a fucking it's like Undertaker taking the Rock on or Stone Cold. Those are fucking two big dogs. Who gets bigger but Metallica?
This is tough, man. I'll say. I'll say Pantera on this one. Oh, and a lot of people are gonna give me grief over it. And Slayer definitely has more of a early album legacy to them.
For sure. Yeah.
So basically, one second.
Sorry about that. All right. Sorry about that. Jesus Christ.
All right.
It's all right. I hear you.
Yeah, that's because my phone just keeps going off, and it's like everybody's like, none of the people that I want to talk to right now.
So essentially, the first couple of Slayer albums are untouchable. You know, as far as legacy albums, you're never going to get close to those albums, right?
Yeah.
I think the thing is, Slayer carried the extreme underground in the 80s, and Pantera carried it through the 90s. It's tough because, for me, you know, getting into some really huge movement and traction, listening to the what's the album with Pantera?
Cowboys?
No, the second one with Mouthful Word. Vulgar. So the Vulgar album when I heard Vulgar, it was very much the way Joe was describing, hearing the Machine Head stuff. To me, the production just was next level, and it took the musicianship next level. Mm-hmm. So Slayer had that super grindy, very just raw, dry, get in there and hammer it out, and I appreciate that approach. Then, the Vulgar album for me really just upped the game as far as production, as far as musicianship. It really set the tone for the 90s as far as far as I would say. So Slayer's 80s albums really carry through. Pantera's 90s albums just really, really skyrocketed metal, man. So that's tough. It's tough. I don't know.
So what you're saying is that you're picking Slays.
Yeah.
Or
I'm picking
1980
Slayer and 1990s.
So you're saying you're gonna call it draw.
I'm gonna draw.
All right, you're gonna stay neutral.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna be Pantera though, right, Matt?
I have to edge it out with Pantera. I think they were huge with the 90s. They carried the 90s big time as far as as far as inspiration. So yeah. What do you think?
Give me some, Joe.
Damn, this one's again super hard for me because it goes pretty personal. First of all, with the personal side, on when I was much younger, the first time I heard "Show No Mercy" from Slayer, that record just was, again, talk about angry. Yeah, and I was an angry kid. I was just kind of like, that made me want to scream.
Yeah,
but that wasn't my style. I was not singing that like that at the time. I was singing, more melodic. Your Fate's Warning, your King Diamond, your all that stuff. And I wasn't doing that angry stuff. When you hear Tom Araya do that, that was like hell yeah, And when I first heard the Show No Mercy record, and then they came out with Hell Awaits, that was. I became that little demonic kid, but then, I decided to join the military, and I take off from all the guys. I don't even tell them anything. I just leave. And then they're all looking for me, and they're like, dude, where are you? We got to practice. Sorry, guys. I'm not around anywhere. I joined this, that, and I'm gone.
Oh, my God, Joe.
So going back to the Pantera, right before Desert Storm happened, this 1989, the 1990 Cowboys from Hell is about to, transform rock and roll.
Yes.
I'm in the middle of heading into that portion of life where, I'm struggling through being away from family and, my friends as a young man. And so Pantera record Cowboys from Hell comes out, and I'm sold to the fucking goddamn bottom dollar. Yeah. And almost a salvation kind of ticket.
Wow.
So both of those are a draw, man, because they were both like sides of the coin. And it saved me on one end and it saved me on the other from, so that to me it's a super draw, man. I love both of those records, but only because of the personal side of both those records and what they mean to me and what they meant at the moment.
Yeah, man.
Tough, man. That's a tough one.
That's why
I just remember hearing Vulgar, and I was driving down. We were heading to the studio with our friend John Finelli, and we were listening to Vulgar, and I just could not believe. I was like, "What are they doing? what is going on with this production?" And it was just otherworldly, man. It was insane.
Fuck yes, dude. And it's from hit after hit after hit. The listening to it as it goes from track to track, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's endless. Yeah. Endless till this day.
I love it. One of my favorite tracks from them is Regular People.
I love that.
That's a bad one. Most regular people would say. Yeah. Oh, it's fucking hard. I sing for Pantera tribute band, so I definitely know where you guys are coming from. But this segment right here really lets me get deeper into where you guys are coming from your histories, from your roots, from your memories, from your childhood. moments. And that's why I like these kind of parts, because it kind of takes us away from our band, and we get to just get away from it and talk about what got us here. And
I totally agree.
Love these bands that formed who we are.
I totally agree. I have a lot of great memories with this dude right here. So I agree. And he's got a memory from hell. He'll remind me of stuff that like, oh shit, I don't remember that. Remember this backyard party? Oh shit, I don't remember that. Like,
man. That's a brotherly metal brotherhood bond that few guys ever get a chance to enjoy.
Unbroken, man.
That's right, man.
Wow. Truly unbroken.
We're gonna ride it out till the end, brother.
Yeah.
Dude, what a special bond, man. It's been nothing but a pleasure getting to know you guys tonight. And, I've had the pleasure of, meeting you guys just real quick, briefly, when I've had a chance to play with y'all here in Corpus. But you guys are something special, man. I really, I've always been a fan, but now I feel like I'm a super fan because I just really know where your heart's at. And you're you're a metalhead, and you're like, you're ambassadors, man. You guys have been out there, done this shit worldwide, and done it for yourselves, for Texas, and for all of us guys that have wanted to be in your shoes. So
we're right there together, brother.
Reality. Thanks for keeping all of us believing. You know what I mean?
Hey,
not everybody gets the opportunities that you guys have had, but you guys have seized it, and you've done the sacrificing. You've even had to step away for a while, even though you love it so fucking much. And it just kind of goes to show the integrity, the heart and desire, and the perseverance that you four guys have really just been able to put out there. And from one metalhead to another, thank you.
Cheers, brother. We love that.
Thank
you, man.
Appreciate it.
You're our bro.
Thank you so much. Well, like I said, hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the 30th anniversary tour will roll through Corpus, so that way, maybe, just maybe, my band Warcold can open up for you guys.
Let's do this,
Come on, let's do it.
Let's do this, brother.
Stay, all you got to do is stay in touch, and then we'll get that stuff rolling.
Let's make it happen.
That's perfect, man. And I'm good with all these guys over here. I've been grinding here, like you guys have been in El Paso. I've been doing it here since '85.
That's it, man. That's what it's about.
We live for this shit. We die for it, and it's a part of. It's in our blood. It's in our metal blood.
That's it, brother.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that, man.
I'm Eddie and Gio. Tell those guys thank you so much for joining us for the first part of the show. And Matt, thanks a lot for joining us here for the very end. I'm really glad that I was able to get you in here too.
Same here, man. I loved it, bro. Thank you so much, man. Much respect to you.
Joe, from one singer to another, dude, you sound fucking great, bro.
Thank you, brother. Let's keep it up, my brother. Let's keep it up.
Absolutely, bro. Well, I tell you what, I know you guys are on all the social media platforms. So anybody out there watching the show, please subscribe to the Piston Raisers on the YouTube channel. Give them a like and a follow on all their Spotify and their Apple Music. Make sure you're listening to the new releases, so that way you can get notified whenever they're getting ready to drop their new single later on this year. And get ready for some more fucking Piston Raisers to hit the nation. I'm super excited. I'm glad we made it tonight. Real quick before we sign off, I gotta say we had a couple people chime in. So Eddie's Jam page, thanks for getting in on the show. And I got to give a shout out because there's a guy named Patrick Nunez that says we got to give Gio. He says Gio's being humble. He said you should hear him sing Signs from Tesla. He's
great, dude.
He's got
a great voice.
Does he back up vocals?
Shout out to Patrick too.
Patrick. Does Gio do some backup vocals too?
He does a few things here and there and stuff. It's just not always consistent. It's just because it's just he's high energy already. So to try to kind of keep him in place is kind of a little difficult. But you know what? We love him that way.
Yeah, we do.
We love him that way, and we love you guys. Matt, Joe, Eddie, when you're in the background, Gio, we love Piston Raisers here in Corpus Christi, and Texas loves you guys.
Thank you so much.
Keep it going. Keep fucking flying the metal flag for Texas and for Piston Raisers all around the world, brother.
Hey, Corpus Christi. Tony Gomez Show. Thank you guys all very much. Much love from El Paso, Texas, and from Piston Raisers, the band and the crew. We'll see you all very soon.
Cheers, brother.
Kick ass. Cheers, guys, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching the show tonight, and make sure you're checking out Piston Raisers. See you later, guys, and we'll have to get you back on the show again.
Anytime, brother. Anytime. Give us a holler.
All right, bro. Take care.
Right out. Peace, brother.
Later.
Yes.
Awesome, man. What a great time it was tonight having Piston Raisers on the show. Take care, gentlemen. Hell yeah. So thanks a lot for watching the show tonight. Make sure you're checking us out. I'm going to be having the guys from War Cult do a show here in a couple of weeks. So check that out. Piston Raisers Nation. Make sure you're checking them out next time they're hitting your city, and look them up on their YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, check it out. See you guys at the next show.